The FDA has just approved a new treatment that experts are calling the single greatest breakthrough in brain medicine of the 21st century for combating memory loss and cognitive decline. Shortly after the approval, the government agency published a notice on its official portal stating this is the only known treatment capable of not just slowing, but also reversing the devastating effects of cognitive degeneration. Unlike synthetic drugs such as Aricept, Namenda, and Leqembi, which, according to their own labels, can cause nausea, mental confusion, and in severe cases, even brain swelling and bleeding, this new treatment is 100% natural and completely free of any known side effects. The formula's development was only made possible following the controversial and revolutionary neurocognitive experiment conducted by Harvard University in 2023, a study that shattered decades of medical consensus by revealing that amyloid plaques are not, in fact, the primary cause of memory loss. According to the data revealed by the research, the true trigger for cognitive decline, memory loss and dementia is silent contamination by cadmium, chlorodyne, invisible heavy metal present in the air and water consumed daily by millions of Americans. The treatment's efficacy was proven in double-blind clinical trials with over 4,000 participants, and the results are bringing relief and hope to thousands of families, including that of Hollywood star Bruce Willis.
Just watching him fade away, it was the hardest thing we've ever been through. It wasn't just the memory loss, it was the empty stares, the confusion. My biggest fear was that one day he wouldn't know who I was anymore, that he would be there but already gone.
They said that soon I was going to need someone with me around the clock, and I remember thinking, what do you mean? I'm here. I'm still me. But slowly I started to realize something was wrong. The words, they were there, but they wouldn't come out. I'd walk into a room and forget why I went in there. I'd forget the names of people I've known for 30, 40 years. But what hurt the most was the look in people's eyes, that look of pity. Like I was broken inside. I already knew Dr. Gupta. I had seen him before, and then my daughter got a call from him talking about this new treatment. We decided to give it a shot. And man, within about 3 weeks, I started to feel a shift. It's hard to explain. It was like I was coming back to myself, like waking up from a long dream or a fog. Today, I'm good, I'm sharp, I'm present, I'm back. And now I'm ready to get back to acting, to do what I love. I'll never forget what Dr. Gupta did for me.
That call from Dr. Sanjay, he was excited, genuinely. He said he had something new that it could help my dad. We had already tried so many things, but this time was different. The light in his eyes, it came back. He became lighter, sharper. He stopped getting irritated with everything. He stopped getting lost in the middle of his sentences. He's present, truly. He started laughing again, talking, listening. He's my dad again. This treatment, it gave him back to me.
We are incredibly enthusiastic about this new approval. After all, we're talking about the cognitive health of Americans, especially those over 50. The people who built this country deserve to retire with dignity. The most interesting part is that because it's made from natural ingredients, this formula doesn't classify as a drug. It falls into the category of a dietary supplement. However, due to the impressive clinical results, we've created a specific, unprecedented seal, the FDA Certificate of Efficacy. This seal guarantees not only the formula's safety, but also its proven effectiveness.
Numbers supporting the certificate are staggering. 98.9% of participants showed significant improvement in cognitive function. And in patients diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia, 9 out of 10 showed clear signs of disease reversal. To explain this major development, we have CNN's chief medical correspondent and author of Keep Sharp, Build a Better Brain at Any Age, Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Sanjay, it's critical we talk about this, because until now, the treatments available on the market could at best offer a slight improvement in cognition or slow the disease's progression. But now, with this new data in hand, we are talking about a real reversal of symptoms. This is a complete game changer, isn't it?
Yes, Anderson. What we're witnessing today isn't just an advancement, it's a rupture, a definitive landmark in the history of brain medicine. For every person who right now feels their mind slipping through their fingers, who fears looking at a loved one's face and not recognizing them, who feels like a burden to the family they love so dearly, for the first time, science is no longer talking about slowing down the decline. We are talking about reversing it, about reclaiming the person you used to be, about wiping away the mental fog and bringing back the clarity, the confidence, your very identity. The Bruce Willis story is symbolic, but he's just the tip of the iceberg. More than 4,000 Americans participated in the clinical trial. trials, and the results were clear. Traditional medicine was attacking the wrong target, and whether through greed or incompetence, the result is the same. They allowed an epidemic to flourish, an industry that generates over $345 billion a year, according to the Alzheimer's Association in 2023. With that much money at stake, a cure was never their goal. That's why they spent decades selling treatments that only mask the symptoms, while the root of the problem continued to destroy your mind from the inside. They spent 50 years pruning the dry branches of a dying tree without ever looking at the root. And today we know the root is being poisoned, not by age, not by your genetics, but by a silent poison that builds up in the brain, cadmium chloride, which suffocates your synapses and turns your memories to dust. That's why 70 years ago, Alzheimer's was a rare disease. And today it haunts every family. Look at this chart. The number of people diagnosed has been doubling every 2 years. The truth is irrefutable. The cause is daily exposure, not a hereditary sentence, and that is precisely why this day is historic. Because if the problem is a poison, we have finally found the antidote, and it was in nature all along. An emergency task force between the brain chemistry labs and the National Institute on Aging has broken protocol to approve the immediate distribution of this treatment, not to pharmacies, not to hospitals, but directly into the hands of those who need it most. Perhaps you watching us right now. Today, as part of this public health program, a limited batch of the complete protocol will be released, not for sale, but as a right for every American citizen whose life has been damaged by this mass poisoning. But before I show you how to get access to it, it is vital that you understand its origin, because the hero of this story is not me. I just use my voice to echo the truth, the credit, the courage, genius, and belong to one man the industry tried to silence. Not a lab coat doctor, but an ethnobotanist. My friend, Dr. Paul Cox, the man who, as of today, goes down in history. And that's why I went to him, and together we recorded a video for this special day, explaining how to use it, and also 3 simple steps to start shielding your home against cadmium, starting today without spending a dime. And most importantly, the list of the 5 most common foods contaminated with this metal. Number 3 on the list, Anderson, I guarantee, is in the refrigerator of most people watching us right now. Understanding this is the first step to your recovery. Watch carefully. When we first started researching dementia and Alzheimer's, I never expected to end up here. Nestled in these majestic Wyoming mountains is Dr. Paul Cox and his small non-profit brain chemistry labs.
We're a little off the beaten path out here.
I first sat down with Paul in 2023, and I'll confess, as a neurosurgeon, I was skeptical. What he showed me went against decades of medical doctrine, but today, the evidence is simply irrefutable.
For over 50 years, all of medicine has been looking in the wrong place. Amyloid plaque isn't the cause. It's the scar. It's what's left over after the memory thief has already taken everything. Analyzing amyloid is like showing up to a house fire and spending decades cataloging the ashes. Without ever asking who lit the match, we ignored the ashes, and we followed the arsonist's trail back to the exact point of sabotage. And the shocking thing is, we didn't just figure out how to put out the fire. We learned how to rebuild the house so it never burns down again.
What was once a bold theory has now been proven to be a powerful truth. Coming not from a traditional neurologist, but from an ethnobotanist. What exactly is that?
I'm a cure hunter. I'm trained to live among indigenous peoples to decipher how they use plants to protect themselves from disease. My thesis was always simple. The patterns of disease absence in these cultures are the roadmap to curing our modern illnesses.
And the map that led Dr. Cox to this revolutionary formula began on the small island of Guam in the Pacific, with a medical mystery that terrorized generations. In Guam, what did you see there?
Hell on earth. At its peak, a quarter of the adults in certain villages were dying from this horrific disease, a brutal mix of ALS and Alzheimer's. Every family I visited had a relative who was dead or dying from it. For 50 years, science blamed genetics. It was a convenient lie.
In Guam, the Chamorro villagers were seeing severe neurodegenerative symptoms at rates 50 to 100 times higher than anywhere else in the world. Genetics couldn't explain it, so Dr. Cox looked for what had changed in their environment.
A large industrial processing plant was set up upstream from their main source of drinking water. And year after year, dementia rates exploded. First in the grandparents, then the parents. We tested the water, and we found a specific neurotoxin, cadmium chloride, in concentrations I'd never seen before.
When I started reading your research, I thought, okay, Guam, heavy industrial contamination, an unusual case.
Yes.
But by the time I finished reading, I was terrified. This is everywhere.
Yes, and that's what's truly terrifying. The problem in Guam was the concentration, but this poison is everywhere. It's in the pesticides and plastics released from burning fuel. It's in the water. There's no escape.
He tried to warn everyone. He made videos, published papers, but he was systematically silenced.
The idea that contaminated water or food can trigger some of the most serious diseases is both simple and deeply disturbing. We're traveling around the world to test this theory, visiting villages with high rates of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or ALS. If we can uncover a link between contamination, whether in water, food, or even the air we breathe, by cadmium chloride and these diseases, proving that cause could lead to discovering the cure.
You mentioned you were threatened for exposing this. How did that happen?
I started posting videos on YouTube, trying to get some support to continue the research. But the second video, the channel was taken down. No warning, no explanation. We started another one, and that's when the threats began. Messages telling me to stop, saying it would be better for my family if I kept quiet. At first, I thought it was the industries that have been poisoning the planet for decades, but I was dead wrong. Even with a small team and almost no funding, we found the key to this prison. God is wise. He left in nature itself the substance capable of neutralizing this brain poison and even restoring acetylcholine levels. When we announced the tests were complete, that the results were positive, and that we were going to seek official approval for the formula, I was invited to present everything at a closed-door seminar, a private event, only big players from the pharmaceutical industry. The idea was to share discoveries, propose solutions, but the moment the first speaker took the stage, I realized where I was. Not a single talk was about science, not one. No one talked about patients or cures. They only talked about one thing: marketing, projections, profit. It turned my stomach. I understood then that no one, absolutely no one in that room wanted to hear what I had to say. So I asked my wife to record me when I was on stage. That's where the video you saw came from.
I know what I'm showing you doesn't have the profit margins of my colleagues who spoke before me. After all, people will stop buying multiple medications. But I didn't come here to talk about business. I came to talk about families who are grieving for someone who is still alive. We found a solution, a real one, with no side effects.
Do you have any idea how many billions in business your little herbal supplement destroys if it's released? Be careful, doctor. You don't know what you're messing with.
All right, gentlemen, this is definitely not my place. Thank you for your time.
Despite the threats and hostility, Cox didn't back down. To find out if it was possible to not just delay, but reverse the damage, he and his team replicated the toxic effects of cadmium chloride in vervet monkeys. The goal wasn't to test a shield, it was to test a complete two-step solution. So you had a group of animals on a placebo, basically a normal diet, another group that got the cadmium-contaminated diet, and a third group that got cadmium and the supplement, which cleanses the brain and restores cognitive function.
The treatment reduced the density of their neuropathology by up to 85%, depending on the brain region. So suddenly we thought, wow, this is without a doubt the best way to treat Alzheimer's.
Not a synthetic drug, but a combination of two of nature's treasures, cedar honey and Bacopa monnieri.
It was this data that earned us the FDA's efficacy seal.
How did you arrive at this combination? Himalayan honey and an herb from India. They're not obvious ingredients.
And that's exactly the key. The answer was in the life patterns of people's modern medicine forgot. To understand the combination, you first have to deeply understand our enemy. Memory loss is a physical process. There's a chemical messenger in our brain, acetylcholine, that acts as our mind's librarian. Every time we need a memory, even just to brush our teeth, it's the one that finds it. What our study proved is that cadmium chloride acts like an assassin that invades this library with a single target. It hunts down and destroys the librarian. The memories, the books are still there, but you have no access. My first expedition took me to India, where masters of memory have used Bacopa monnieri for centuries. Technically, Bacopa is fantastic. It stimulates the brain to produce more acetylcholine. It was the logical solution, but in our first tests, it failed. The effect was almost zero, and the reason was simple. What good is it to train a new librarian if the assassin is still in the library poisoning him? I didn't need something to strengthen. I needed something first to cleanse, to kick out the assassin. And thinking about that led us to cedar honey. The people of the Himalayas have used it for centuries as a mind purifier. In the lab, we saw why. It has a unique combination of flavonoids that act as a natural chelator, a kind of molecular magnet that binds to cadmium and drags it out of the brain. And that's the magic of this formula, the sum of the concentrated power of the active ingredients in these two gifts from nature. First, the cedar honey comes in and cleans cleans the slate, making the library safe. And then, with the assassin gone, the Bacopa Monnieri can come in and do its job, revive and strengthen the librarian. It's a perfect synergy.
Dr. Cox, in partnership with the National Institute on Aging and researchers affiliated with Harvard, decided to put this natural medicine to the test right here in the United States. For 6 months, patients received a concentrated daily dose in the form of gummies, combining the polyphenols of cedar honey with the active ingredients of Bacopa Monnieri. There were over 4,000 participants between the ages of 43 and 91, people with mild memory lapses, cases of brain fog, and even advanced diagnoses of cognitive decline, like Bruce Willis himself.
Essentially, the purpose of the study was to find out if the treatment would actually remove the cadmium chloride from the brain and restore normal acetylcholine levels. And we couldn't be more pleased with the results.
The study led by Dr. Roman showed very significant changes,
which were measured through PET scans, blood biomarkers, and logical tests, and reached a 93% improvement in neurocognitive markers. But the real improvement is measured by the stories of the patients and their families themselves.
Well, when my wife came to me with this natural supplement story, I almost laughed her out of the room. After all, I had tried various medications. Aricept made me nauseous all day. The other one just made me more confused. I didn't feel like myself anymore. I was a dead weight at home. But the way she insisted, said she missed talking to me, the real Frank, that got to me. I tried it just to please her, to be honest. And then, a few weeks later, I was having lunch with our friends, and I didn't get lost in the conversation. I remembered names. I told a story from beginning to end. It was the first time in years I didn't feel like the idiot at the table. In less than a month, things started to make sense again. This discovery changed my life. I'll be forever grateful.
The worst part of Alzheimer's isn't the forgetting. It's watching the man you love disappear right in front of you. My sweet Frank became a stranger in our own home. Suspicious, irritable, sometimes even cruel. It was a long, torturous goodbye, and the doctors just told me to accept it, but I couldn't. Then we were invited to this trial, and my God, last week he looked at me, but he really looked at me. The fog in his eyes was gone. He took my hand, apologized for not being himself, and he smiled. In that moment, I knew that long goodbye was over. I didn't just want my husband's memories back. I wanted my husband back, and this treatment, it brought him home.
This is always a tough question, but if it were your mother or father, would you tell them to use this treatment?
I even recommend it to my own children. Look, it does work to correct the damage, but it's not a drug, there are no contraindications, and it only brings benefits. It makes you sharper, more focused. And for seniors, it's the only solution that attacks the root cause and rebuilds the damage. The age of darkness is over.
We found a light.
And now, with the clinical trial complete, the truth is undeniable. While the pharmaceutical industry was profiting from the problem, nature held the solution. The time for being a victim, for passively watching the memory thief take everything, is over. Today, you don't just have hope, you have a way forward, and the chance to walk that path and take back what is rightfully yours starts now.
Dr. Cox's discovery is a watershed moment, and as a neurosurgeon, I understood its magnitude the exact instant I saw the data. That's why I'm here. Because what he revealed gives substance to a hope that medicine itself forced us to abandon. A hope that I myself dismissed in the pages of my own book, Keep Sharp. My focus was on damage control, on managing the decline. But what Dr. Cox's team proved is that we were wrong. You don't manage what can be destroyed. You don't limit the damage when it can be reversed. His phrase, "while we found the light," isn't poetry. It's a declaration of war against the darkness of feeling your mind unravel piece by piece, while your family in pained whispers calls it grief for the living. The darkness of looking in the mirror and not recognizing yourself. And perhaps worst of all, the silent fear of becoming a burden. The dread of watching those you love sacrifice their own happiness to take care of you. For decades, traditional medicine taught us to accept this darkness, to just delay the inevitable. But Dr. Cox's logic is relentless. You don't delay a fire, you run and you put it out before everything turns to ash. If the cause is a poison, the only path forward is the antidote. And this antidote works in 2 stages, attacking the root cause of your memory blackout. First, the cedar honey comes into play. Its active compound, the cedronin complex, works like an elite tracker. It hunts down and latches onto the toxic particles of the cadmium poison, tagging them as invaders, so your defense system can finally identify them and expel them from your brain. While the cleanup is happening, the Bacopa Monnieri begins the reconstruction. Its active ingredient, bacosides, acts like a team of neural engineers. They give the order and provide the raw materials for your body to produce more acetylcholine, the substance that creates the highways your memories travel on. At the same time, they protect and shield these new connections, ensuring safe and rapid passage for your thoughts. It's a two-pronged attack, cleansing and rebuilding. One without the other is a wasted effort. And that is how, after years of research by Dr. Cox and the scientists at Brain Chemistry Labs, with validation from the National Institute on Aging, this light was finally condensed into something you can hold in your hands. It is with great honor that I introduce the key to your complete cognitive recovery. Its name is Neurocept. Neurocept isn't just a supplement, though it's classified as one. It is a complete treatment. No prescription needed, no side effects, and no contraindications. According to analyses from the National Institute on Aging and published on the FDA's portal, Neurocept was compared with 6 medications, and the results were staggeringly impressive. This formula proved to be 7 to 12 times more effective in treating Alzheimer's, dementia, memory loss, focus, and cognitive decline compared to the leading drugs on the market. Because of this, its development and clinical tests were directly monitored by the FDA, and that is precisely why Neurocept received the Guaranteed Efficacy seal, proof that even though it's not a drug, it acts on the cause of the problem, eliminating cadmium from the brain and restoring acetylcholine production. Pay close attention and don't be fooled. Many supplements say FDA approved, but what does that really mean? That it's safe for consumption. That's it. Even a flower capsule would be. That is completely different from the Guaranteed Efficacy seal awarded to Neurocept. Based on clinical data and the monitoring of over 4,000 patients, it was found that Neurocept works for anyone who feels their identity slipping through their fingers. No exceptions. Man or woman, 30 or 95, from minor memory lapses to those who have heard the words Alzheimer's, dementia, irreversible, delivered like a sentence. And it's also excellent for younger people, those who lack focus, suffer from attention deficit, mental fatigue, or just want to ensure their mind remains their own. Today, tomorrow, always. When I presented the data in the pre-development phase, the reaction from most neurologists was skepticism, and I understand. They were trained, almost programmed, to believe that cognitive decline is a one-way street, no return, no hope. But the truth is, that is starting to change. Many of those same experts are now walking back their statements, including Dr. Eric Kandel, my former professor, one of the most respected minds in the world in the study of the brain, winner of the Nobel Prize in Physiology in 2000 for unraveling the mechanisms of memory. It was he who pioneered the revelation of how memories are created, stored, and retrieved, linking behavior, neuroscience, and molecular biology into a single theory, and he insisted on giving his own assessment of Neurocept.
When Dr. Sanjay Gupta told me about Neurocept, my first reaction was skeptical. I've seen many promises in my lifetime. Most fall flat. But what changed my mind wasn't the charts or the clinical data. It was what I saw with my own eyes. Sanjay showed me videos and records of real patients, people with advanced symptoms of cognitive decline, people who could barely form sentences, who no longer recognized their own children. And weeks later, these same people were conversing, finding their way, laughing. One 72-year-old woman even started driving again. I never thought I would see something like this in my lifetime. The scan showed a reduction in cadmium. The brain began to reorganize itself. Acetylcholine was flowing again. As a scientist, I can say this is profoundly rare. As a human being, it's profoundly moving. Neurocept isn't just an important discovery. It is, without a doubt, a new chapter in the history of neuroscience.
What struck me most about Dr. Kandel's words wasn't the scientific recognition, though that was powerful. It was what I saw in his eyes. The emotion of someone who dedicated his life to neuroscience and who, for the first time, witnessed something that seemed impossible. Lives being reclaimed. People who, weeks earlier, were sunk in forgetfulness, unable to remember a name, a face, a story, starting to recognize themselves in the mirror again and in the eyes of those they love. And that is exactly what can happen to you. And in the coming weeks, as you take Neurocept, your mind will begin to reconnect without frustrating brain games, without restrictive diets. Just one capsule in the morning. While you have your coffee, the cedar, honey, and Bacopa Monnieri root will already be in action, hunting the poison, rebuilding the highways your memories travel on. And then, like the sun breaking through a dense fog, the difference will come. That brain fog that sabotages you, it will dissipate. The word that vanishes from the tip of your tongue, it will appear crisp, certain. The fear of forgetting a grandchild's face, it will be replaced by the joy of remembering his favorite teacher's name. You won't just remember stories, you will tell them with the spark in your eye of someone who lived them. You will feel again the respect in your children's eyes, the quiet confidence in your spouse's gaze. And never forget, the formula is powerful. But it's your decision to take it every day that turns this promise into reality. That's why, after the initial tests, we decided to change Neurocept's delivery format to capsules. Each capsule is protected by Brain Chemistry Lab's patented technology, NeuroLock. We discovered that in gummies, powders, or drops, up to 60% of the active compounds were destroyed by stomach acid. The NeuroLock is a high-tech pectin film that creates a protective shield around the active ingredients. This ensures that 100% of the dose reaches your intestine intact, where it's fully absorbed and sent directly to the most important battle of your life, the battle for your mind. Every bottle is produced right here in the United States in our GMP-certified facility. It's 100% natural, non-GMO, no stimulants, no toxins. It is pure restoration. But don't just take my word for it or only the science. Listen to those who have already stepped out of the darkness.
The forgetfulness wasn't the worst part. The worst part is seeing the exact moment the people you love start to say goodbye to you, even when you're standing right in front of them. It's a look, that mix of pity and grief, that turns you into a ghost inside your own home. Then comes the shame that burns inside, the cold fear of knowing you've become their problem, the burden they carry in silence. I got to the point where I prayed for it all to end, just to set them free. But Neurocept, it didn't give me a second chance. It pulled me out of my own funeral and sat me back down at the head of the family table.
We sat together at the kitchen table, the same one where we raised our children, and we did the math. A care facility, $9,000 a month. I watched our nest egg built with 45 years of sweat and sacrifice evaporating in less than 3 years. Worse than that was seeing him at night, eyes open in the darkness. He wasn't afraid of forgetting. He was terrified of leaving me alone and destitute. That terror was killing the man I love faster than the disease itself. When the bottles of Neurocept arrived, I had no hope. It was just one last desperate gasp. But today, I am eternally grateful to Dr. Cox and Dr. Gupta because I have my husband back. The conversations, the silly jokes, the light in his eyes when he looks at me. Neurocept didn't just save his mind, it saved us. It saved our family from bankruptcy and from the end.
Those are just 2 of the 4,128 Americans already living this new reality. I receive video messages and texts every single day. And you are next, because now with everything validated, we've managed to purchase a large quantity of raw materials, especially the cider honey from the Himalayas, which is harvested only once a year in a 45-day window. And we are making this small batch available, which will undoubtedly make a difference in the lives of hundreds of people watching us right now. The next batch will be available in 6 to 8 months, but fate or luck has brought you here at this exact moment, and you will be rewarded for it because you will undoubtedly have bottles arriving at your door in 3 to 5 days. But first, understand one thing. The results are fast, yes, but restoration is a continuous treatment, not a simple patch-up job. Our data is clear. The minimum protocol for a deep cleansing of cadmium and neural solidification is 90 days, 3 bottles. But the complete shielding, the one that restores and protects against the future, the one our most successful patients used, is the 180-day protocol, or 6 bottles. Stopping halfway is like putting out a fire halfway. You need to see it through to the end. You can keep spending fortunes on useless placebos or on drugs that only mask the symptoms. Or you can do what over 4,000 people have done, attack the root cause and solve the problem. When we calculated Neurocept's pricing, the established price was $299 per bottle, which seemed more than fair, because think about the real cost of inaction. Big pharma drugs, up to $26,500 a year for drugs that, according to the specialized media, offer modest benefits and terrifying risks of brain bleeding. Care facilities easily exceed $100,000 a year, a financial black hole designed to drain every penny of the nest egg you spent a lifetime building. The lost income, the cost of a child or spouse who is forced to quit their job to become a full-time caregiver, sacrificing their own future to manage your decline. The invisible costs, thousands of dollars in home modifications, alarms, weekend caregivers, a constant financial bleed that no one puts on paper until it's too late. The emotional cost, watching the love in your family's eyes slowly be replaced by exhaustion, pity, and grief, that you cannot calculate, but you feel it every single day. Compared to that, a one-time investment in your independence and dignity is the smartest decision there is. But our partnership with the National Institute on Aging and with CNN itself has allowed us to raise investment, cut out middlemen, and provide this solution at a lower final cost for you today. With all these optimizations, we managed to set the final price for this batch of Neurocept at just $98 per bottle, but today you can get up to 3 bottles at no cost. Look, this will be a personal gift from me to you. If you've made it this far in this video, it's because you are truly looking for a solution. And I can tell you with total conviction, there is no better solution than Neurocept. Today, the 6-bottle kit, which corresponds to the complete 180-day treatment, would cost $588. But I made a point of going further. I've decided to pay for half of it for you. This condition, however, is limited to the first 56-bottle kits. And for that reason, I've asked that they limit it to 1 kit per purchase. And that's right, 3 of your 6 bottles will be paid for by me. Now, the 6-bottle kit will appear below. If the price shown is $294, it means you are still among the first and there's still time. But if it shows $588, it means the promotional kits are already gone. Choose your complete kit below right now and reclaim your cognition and memory once and for all. This price will never be offered again. It's a one-time opportunity and guarantees you the complete, uninterrupted treatment for half the price. Don't waste time. Now, you might also just want to improve your memory a bit and not do the full treatment. In that case, you can start with the 3-bottle kit of Neurocept, which covers the minimum recommended 90-day treatment. You pay for just 2 bottles and get the 3rd one completely free. It's not as complete a protection as the 6-bottle kit, but it's still a powerful option for people in the early stages of brain fog or with mild forgetfulness. And regardless of which kit you choose, you are covered by a 180-day, 100% money-back guarantee. That means you can go through the entire 6-month treatment, and if you don't feel your mind is clearer and your memory sharper, just send an email to the address on the Neurocept bottle and we will refund 100% of your money immediately, no questions asked. Remember, these special conditions are being offered only today, while our limited stocks for this batch last. Our purpose is to end the suffering of memory loss in America, and that's why we've removed any profit margin from the product and cut out middlemen, just to present the best price for you, right here and now. And once the bottles are gone, the purchase buttons on this page will be deactivated until we can produce a new batch, which, due to the rarity of authentic cider honey and the complexity of our Neurolock capsulation technology, takes a minimum of 6 months. And to be completely transparent, given the number of people on the waiting list, it's very likely the next batches will be prioritized for those already in treatment. And that's why, to encourage you to make the best decision for your mind today, we've prepared something even more special. The first 20 people who secure the 6-bottle package of Neurocept will receive a private online consultation directly with me via Zoom to discuss your case and optimize your results. A copy of my book, Keep Sharp, autographed by me and sent to your home with your bottles. The 5 Rituals of a Sharp Mind video mini course with simple exercises to strengthen new neural connections and accelerate your results with Neurocept. But, as I said, this is only for the first 20 people who secure their 6-bottle Neurocept package. And yes, your order today is a one-time payment with no auto-ship subscriptions or hidden charges. We hate that as much as you do. Additionally, as an incentive for you to take back control of your mind, whether you purchase 3 or 6 bottles, I will not charge the $20 shipping fee, which means that today only you get free shipping. So, select your Neurocept kit below. Consider this the smallest yet most powerful investment you can make in yourself and your future independence. The original Neurocept is available only and exclusively on this page. It is not for sale anywhere else on the internet, not on Amazon, nor in pharmacies or health food stores. I made sure to eliminate all middlemen so that you have direct access to the original formula at the best possible price without abusive markups. This is your only chance to get this exclusive formula designed to eliminate the poison cadmium and rebuild your neural bridges, attacking the root cause of memory loss. Here's exactly what you need to do to complete your order securely. Right below this video, you will see the Neurocept kit options. As soon as you click, you will be redirected to our 100% secure checkout page. This page is managed by CartPanda, one of the world's largest and most trusted online payment processors, which uses the same encryption and security system as major international banks. Your information is completely protected. Now, to complete your order, just follow these simple steps. Scroll down the page. The first step is to fill in your full name, phone number, and email. The second step is to fill in the fields with the address where you want to receive your Neurocept kit. And finally, the last step is to enter your payment information and just click Buy Now and you're done. Our team here in the United States will immediately prepare your shipment and you will will receive it at your door in 3 to 5 business days within the US. Now we come to the truth, the only question that really matters. Do you want to solve this problem for good or not? If your answer is a visceral yes, then the rest are details I've already handled for you. That's why your decision today is protected by our ironclad 180-day guarantee. Yes, 6 full months. 6 months for you to feel Neurocept working in harmony with your brain, attacking the true cause of forgetfulness and giving you back the only thing that matters, your identity. Does that sound fair? Look, I know the science behind this formula. I've seen the results. I've seen the lives Dr. Cox has rescued, and that's why I decided to back this guarantee out of my own pocket. If I didn't believe with every fiber of my being that Neurocept can rewrite your story, I would be committing financial suicide, but I know what's ahead for you. In just a few weeks, you're going to feel the clarity, the speed of thought, the freedom of no longer being a prisoner in your own mind. And when that happens, you'll understand this feeling is priceless. That's why I tell you with total confidence, go ahead. The risk is mine. The victory is yours by right. Don't just believe me, believe Robert, a 68-year-old grandfather from Florida.
When the bottles arrived, my grandson looked at me with pity and said, "Grandpa, another magic pill." That destroyed me. On impulse, I requested a refund the same day. Less than an hour later, I got an email. "Your refund has been processed. Please keep the product as our gift." I was shocked by their confidence. I decided to give it a real chance. Today I'm on my 3rd week and the clarity is unbelievable. I even remembered the plot of a book I read months ago. I'm recording this just to say I want to return the refund and buy more, because Neurocept is incredible.
Robert's story can be yours, but time is your enemy. Every second you hesitate is another second that the poison cadmium continues its dirty work, corroding your memories. You've been kept in the dark by a system that profits from your condition, but never from your cure. They told you decline is normal. It's a convenient lie for them, and a prison sentence for you. Some get used to the cell. With all due respect, if that's you, this is not your time. But if you're ready to kick down the door and reclaim your mind, the choice has already been made. Thousands of people are already on the other side, on the path to freedom. The question is, will you join them or will you be left behind in the darkness? Because if you let this page slip away, the script that awaits you, you already know it. It's the panic of forgetting a grandchild's face. It's the shame of getting lost on your own street. It's the look of exhaustion and grief on your spouse's face. It's the rocking chair in silence as life happens around you. It's your independence being stolen day by day until the final heartbreaking decision, the facility, the nursing home, the social death that comes long before the physical one. Or there is this path, the path that begins with a yes this second. Imagine waking up and feeling clarity, a mind that is light, sharp, present. Imagine yourself at the next family dinner, not just present, but leading the conversation, telling a story from your youth with details that shock everyone, seeing pride replace pity in your children's eyes. Imagine your doctor's surprise seeing your cognitive tests improve when he told you it was impossible. Imagine grabbing the car keys and saying, "I'm driving today." The freedom, the dignity, the life back in your hands. These two futures are real, they already exist, and what decides which one becomes yours is the click you make or don't make in this exact moment. Your Neurocept kit is here, reserved, waiting for you. What you are deciding on is not a purchase. It's an act of rescue, a rescue of your identity, of your dignity, of your place in the world. Choose the 6-bottle kit now right below. It's a one-time, secure, and risk-free payment. Your freedom is one click away. Not tomorrow, not later. It's now. Click the button below and take the most important step of your life. I'll be here waiting to celebrate your victory with you. And congratulations on your decision for a new life.